Hey there, gamers. Welcome back to Cryptic Gaming. This is your captain, Cryptic Gaming. I hope you've been having a wonderful weekend. Happy Easter to everyone. And I will show y'all what I'm doing here to get my H. Right now, I'm not really focusing on the special events that they have because, it's kind of hit and miss. Sometimes you lose your 8s if you do these events. So what I am doing is running roving missions. So I picked up 2 roving orders for here. I'm going to go blow these liaisons up. But I also picked up the trade missions on the island, which will be taking place up here at the necropolis. And just go ahead and pick up all 4. What this is going to do, it's going to give me great XP. It's going to give me those Helm items as well to continue my production rates on the Gold Scope product. So just sit back and enjoy, guys. So when I'm running missions, especially where you're going to be dealing with the Helm, always check your friends list if you leave it on open where people can just join you. Because when they join you, it's automatically going to nerf all the ships up. If people do that, they will not actually sail with you to help, and it gives them XP. Ordinarily, I don't mind doing that, but when I'm running this, there is a glitch right now where more Helm ships show up than should be showing up. We typically end up with about 8 of these son of a guns coming up, and they will swarm you. So the last thing I need is uninvited guests making the game a little bit more difficult. But this is something that I used to run back today. For those who have ran with us, we're going to put some videos up later where we've been doing our group farm and stuff. For those who were in Banished Souls, maybe you're still in it and you just haven't been playing the game, we have got that back going. Friday night was our first big farm event, and we're hoping to get that going again here. At least once or twice a week would be nice for new gamers who are just coming into the game as well. We are, well, I am. I'm offering to help get you your ships up to date, get you on the board as far as getting you to Kingpin and things like that. If you join the Discord, so I think it's great to find other pirates who want to sail with you, and it only benefits your group in the long run. So but yeah, we have quite a bit of fun in here when we do our group farm events. Seen a lot of familiar faces that we hadn't seen since around season 2 reached season 3 last year. One of the reasons for that, it was mostly I kind of stopped playing after my surgeries and stuff. So now that I'm hopefully on the mend from that, finally get back into gaming a little bit, this has been kind of exciting to get back into all this and reconnect with the group. So I am not seeing the Helm ships. This is crazy. So yeah, I'm sure we're going to see them between here and there. But yeah, so notes coming up. That's the next big thing. So a lot of patch notes coming up. They're going to be fixing the issue with the pieces of 8. They are aware of that. There's also an issue where if you got the premium pass to get those cosmetics and things, there are some people, I won't say a lot, but there are some people who did not get the cosmetics with that. They're actually aware of that as well. That was in the upcoming patch note fix, so they should have that fixed on Tuesday when they do. It's going to be a 3-hour patch session, my understanding, so they're supposed to get a lot of those issues fixed. The pieces of 8 where they disappear and all that from your inventory when you're running these other, it has something to do with, and the upgrade under your Helm, I forget which one of these sections it was, but it's under Empire Administration. I think it was Coercive Growth is the one that's causing the glitch where you're losing 8s. So they've got the fix to go in on that. That's going to be replaced on April 22nd, be Tuesday. Now, I don't know if they're going to go back and try and backdate those pieces of 8. Like I said, I've been turning in reports every time that I lose them, and I'm trying to do screenshots now. That's another reason why I will stream on Twitch a lot, and not always to post a video on YouTube or to make a video for the group, but a lot of times I do that just to have the screenshots. So before I do a big deal, I like my Helm delivery here. I look here and I say, okay, I've got 3,119 pieces of 8. Now I should be getting around 1,700 pieces of 8 by the time this is finished, because I'm running 4 missions to deliver these skull products. We'll see how it works out for us, but typically these do not have that glitch. It's just if you're running legendary heists or hostile takeovers. Now, with your hostile takeover, I still think it's worth it, because going up to level 2, it's free. If you run a hostile takeover on something you already own, it's a level 1 base, it's going to bump it to a level 2, which typically costs you 1,000 pieces of 8. So if you keep your 8 spent down, it's not going to affect you too much in the game. But if you're like me and you're trying to save up to finish upgrading your ships, because we want to get those up to level 15 so we can compete a little better in World Tier 2. Been upgrading a lot of the weapons. We'll show you some of that and some of the other videos and stuff. But yeah, it's just been fantastic as far as having to bounce between the two, man. It can be frustrating. I know we get some comments to talk about how frustrating it is. You know, you're preaching to the choir, man. I understand they are aware of it. They're supposed to get that fix in. So as far as what they're going to do for the people who have lost dates, you know, I won't pretend to know. They usually do a pretty decent job when they have big groups. So yeah, look at this. This is not normal. You should not have that many Helm ships coming in on these orders. The thing that gets me is the sharpshooter. You got to watch him, because he will cause a new stun effect like that right there, and you want to make sure that you're just putting out as much DPS as possible. Alright, so that took them guys out. Picked up some of the goods. Typically I pick everything up, but this is going to be a kind of a long trip here, so we're going to skirt past the rest of it. But that is why I used the sandbuck. That's just a typical Shadow Legion, never mind. Now, one of the things with the sandbuck, for those who've used it, there's good things about its proc perk and bad things. It has an AoE, for those who are unaware of what that is. It means area of effect. When you use blaze weapons, like the dimmies and things like that, that have a burning or blaze on it, it will cause a blaze effect, which sends out a fire ring that does damage to ships around it. Now, that's a great thing in combat situations. It's not such a great thing if you're trying to be particular about what it is that you're shooting, though, because if you end up taking out the ships you want to take out and then you end up affecting all the ships around it, you might end up with a lot of ships aggroed on you, and that does happen quite a bit using this ship. But like I say, the more ships that come, the merrier. I'm not too worried about it. It doesn't bother me either way. I like to get the XP. They should have everybody sunk. Now, you can actually board those ships and you get more pieces of 8 if you have gone into the Helm and you've actually enabled that. I've not enabled it because to me it's easier to just sink them and be done with it. Now, my next stop is going to be the Necropolis. Now, remember, when you're carrying these Helm orders, you are not allowed to fast travel. So there's no fast traveling while I've got these. You'll see it says that I need to acquire White Skull products. I don't actually need to acquire anything. I have those in the warehouse. When you go onto the island, you will have those available to you from the little cache. Where are we at? We headed the right way here. Nope, we were headed the wrong way. So it seems like it's turned around here. There we go. So for new gamers, some important information you want to know. If you're watching this video, you probably got a little bit to go to get to trying to worry about these 8s. We talk about empire management. We're talking about these actual forts that you fight. So you can actually own these forts, and they collect pieces of 8 and other items from them. I do like the new fund production. Just hit that. It funds for the whole territory. That's pretty awesome on the game, man. But one of the things you want to make sure you do is carry plenty of food with you at all times. See, food is going to be what gives your crew stamina. Stamina is required to brace when you're coming into combat situations. If you don't have enough stamina, you're not going to be able to brace, and you're just going to be a sitting duck. So make sure you carry food for those who are starting off. It's going to be like coconuts and things, so you're going to be looking for those right around the red isle period. There's a lot of coconut trees right around that main island. You can sail around and pick those coconuts up. Don't just eat the raw coconuts. Go ahead and make sure that you put the coconuts on the fire over at St. Anne so you can grill those. It's going to give you a higher production rate of your stamina as well. And you will go through a lot of food, so gather as much food as you can and keep it in your warehouse. It doesn't go bad. Keep it on your ship. Now when it comes to food, the bananas I use are NISD. They don't require a lot of space, so I keep those. I used to run the coconuts a lot, but most folks grab coconuts. Most of them don't go hunting down through the estuaries and things over there in Africa for the NISD, so that's kind of why I grab those usually. And I go collect 8s, and if it's coconuts or bananas, I grab them. I don't mind, because there's always, when we do group farms, there's always people who's going to need some of that stuff anyway. One of the things I do like is the fact that we don't lose our food now. If you get sunk and have to leave the area for some reason, you don't lose that food anymore. So that was a year 1 thing, and let me tell you, that was frustrating for a lot of folks. I've been on the receiving end of that, but you got to have something to make you want to go get your gear in the water, so there you still can lose out on some items. All right. And like I said, that's why we use the sandbuck, man. A lot of folks wonder what the best ship in the game is. You know, it really depends on what you're doing. Now, if you go in and you try to take a fort with a sandbuck, yeah, you can do some damage to them walls, but you are most likely going to be spending most of your time sinking. It's one of the, not the lowest, but it's one of the lowest hull healths in this game. So, but it has the highest DPS of any ship in the game with the blaze effects. At least for right now. There's going to be some things changing with that. Sounds like the sloop is going to be getting some boost with some of these new weapons, so that's something that's going to be great. Yeah, that's right, the sloop, the little bitty blaster for back in the day. Those things are OP when you get those up to a higher level. They're a lot of fun to use. I don't use them on these long hauls though, because they don't do too well with the large waves. They are great for running through the small estuaries and little tributaries and things like that though. And then of course you have the new schooner, I think it's called, and mine's at level 4 or 5 now. It's not quite leveled up. It looks like it's going to be a great ship to use. I've not put it out in the open sea much, other than a few tests, just testing some weapon types out. The reason for that is, I mean, this is a level 13 ship that I'm using, and there's a few times that I struggle with some of this new stuff, especially in World Tier 2. World Tier 1's not too bad. One of the things that they're going to work on also in this next patch, guys, is if you've running convoys and you end up running into Lee or the shadow beasts and things like that, you probably have encountered that. They're supposed to be making those aggro areas a little bit smaller so that doesn't happen as much, so you can actually focus on just one mission without it trying to start a bunch of different type boss missions up at one time. So that's something we're going to be doing in this next patch as well for the 22nd of April. So that'll be, like I said, that's next Tuesday. So got a couple days and you're going to see some pretty good changes coming in. Now there is going to be a PvP event that's going to be coming out the middle of this pass. It's supposed to be bringing some new 5 versus 5 PvP aspects to the game that we've not seen before. I'm not entirely sure what that's going to be, what it's going to look like, but it should be fun. My understanding, we're going to be able to earn some new weapons and some things like that from it. Okay, let's go up here to the crop. Let's make our sail. And once we get rid of all this gear, or we dump off all this haul here, we can actually, so we're going to go to Overseas Smuggler. We'll be able to go back to St. Ann and drop off our 8s. Alright, and double check, make sure it added. It did add. That's awesome. So Coda Llama, let me see what area that is here. Now ordinarily I like to run any of my defenses that come up, but I stopped even doing those. If you don't run a defense, you can actually end up injuring your empire, as far as like for 12 hours. I think you lose 8s, or it stops doing production or slows down production. I'm not sure exactly what it does anymore, but one of the things I noticed when I ran those Spectra Defenses yesterday is I was actually losing my 8s, and it wasn't just 500. It would like almost wipe them completely out, 2,000 8s at a time. So you got to be careful with that. Like I say, you got to be very, very specific if you're saving up for any of your stuff. So let's go over here and check out this new schooner real quick. And then I'm going to go ahead and put on some of those group battles for those who want to watch that as well, I believe. This will be under upgrade. This is our schooner here, yeah, so I need 6,500. So that's what I'm waiting on to upgrade for that. But it's level 4, need to go to level 5. So here's what messes me up. Is you'll see like the ship level is upgrade level 4 or 5, but then it'll show up level 5 of 7. I believe it's that top number. You have to take it to a 5 first. It doesn't count that first upgrade level, but this one here at the bottom does. So we got about 3 more upgrades we got to do on this ship here. So it'll go like 6,500, then I think 7,500. And then I think that final one going to a 7 was 15,000, if I'm not mistaken. Let's go to one of our other ships here. Yeah, so like that'd be 15,000 for the Sambuck is what it would end up costing on pieces 8, which isn't too bad. I mean, I've lost way more than that playing around with some of these little missions here. But I hope that's kind of showed you a little bit about what to expect if you're hauling those missions. If you see the little anchors next to our categories here, that means that I have a ship set for auto collect. Now you don't have to wait for them to auto collect. You can do it yourself. Of course, these areas here, you don't have ships on it. You may be wondering, why didn't I put a ship there? Well, that's because these are actually where I can just click, hold a button, and actually fund, or not just fund, but collect my 8s. So those are usually the first territories I grab. If you look here, it'll have a perk for each territory. Like this one here would be auto collection. This one here has auto collection. Some of them will have silver. This one here was the auto collection as well. My first ones I'm going to worry about getting over here will probably be, let's see, that's silver. I think this is the auto collection over here. No, it's silver too. It's 5% production rates. Maybe they don't have the auto collect over here anymore. Not right there it is. Okay, East Indies. So this would be the auto collection area. So we've got one over here. Like I say, before I was just grabbing anything and everything that come up because I was trying to get St. Ann, and I'd seen a lot of Africa popping up, so I started grabbing those as well. But now that I have St. Ann complete, I want to kind of focus on, I've got everything to level 2s. I did go ahead and run any of the hostile takeovers for what I already own that gets those to level 2 manufactories. That way I could set ships on it to automatically collect. That way if I don't feel like collecting 8s or whatever, I could just let the ships pick them up when they reach 340. You're good to go. You can use any medium hull ship at level 8 to be able to do that. To have a level 8 ship, all you got to do is throw just some random stuff on it, like a cannon and some stuff like that, and send it on its way. You can set those up to level level 13s. If you have to pick up 8, say over here at North Dooster Foundry, you would end up needing something a little bit higher than a level 8 to pick that up if you really was going to focus on that. So I never really focused too much on grabbing all of India. I was thinking that this here was an area for auto collect back in season 3, but I could be wrong. Yeah, I must be wrong. It must just been this area here. But looks like I need about 4 more slots over here, so I might use some Helm leases on that. I'm not sure yet. We'll have to wait and see. But these here manufacturing buyouts, you can buy those, but whether or not you already own it, if you already own it, it should give you 900 pieces of 8. But what I've noticed is it actually deducts 8s here lately. And even just buying a normal buyout location, if you don't own it, which I don't have Coda Llama, but if I bought that, I could actually lose my 8. So I'm not going to risk it right now. I'm going to wait till they get this fixed on April 22nd and then start back with my Empire, getting that set up. But we're coming along pretty good. I got the Helm Empire is coming along pretty decent. We finally got where we can hold some more factories again. So then it looks like 15,000 is going to be our next step with our trade dominance and territorial dominance. Then of course there's going to be the Empire administration, which is going to give us more information or more parts that we can hold for manufacturers. I need to get this one upgraded to be another 10,000 savvy traders, and then we can focus on. This is your Helm. This is the tree you need to do first thing, guys. As soon as you come into your empires, come up here, come to this right leg, you're going to want to do improved laboratory equipment. Just take it to a level 1. You can take it higher later if you want to. Then of course you have inside intel. This is the magic maker right here. Bring this up to level 3, increases the amount of 8s offered in orders by 75%. So instead of having like 200 pieces of 8 offered, you might end up with like 450 up to 520 if it's Jade. And then you can do this bloodied orders, which is actually pillage hidden wares from overseas smugglers by boarding them during roving orders. So if you're doing a roving order, if you're not sure what that is, a roving order is when you pick up. I'll show you where to get that lease. I had some questions on that the other day, so. So it's empty right now, but you'll have some that are roving, which means you do it at sea. That's what I just ran. Typically, those roving orders are going to, once you pick it up, they're going to appear right here, right off the coast of Grand Fillets. Now, I understand you're not going to be able to fast travel there. Once you pick the order up, you have to travel that whole way by yourself. You're going to be fighting rogues like we just did to get there. And that's the location where you go, and if you board it, you're going to get more wares, so you could end up with more skull products. You might end up getting more pieces of 8, and that's going to increase with each level that you have that. And I think you could take that up to 3 levels, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, like I said, it's not something I really do much of. I don't typically mess around with boarding a whole lot. So there's some good ones you can run in here, but I'm just telling you, for getting started on your empire, that's something you should focus on. Maybe you don't have to focus so much on this stuff. I did do this here because I like to have those higher level factories. I've got a couple 3s and some 4s up there now, so that'll be something I'll max those out eventually, I'm sure. Just depending on what the production rates go up to, but. Eventually I hope to have this whole tree done. If you look at this and you start to remember what you had last year, they basically took those pages and they've put them into a tree format. Not really sure why they decided to go this route. The cost of this stuff is quite a bit higher than what it was, though, so that's something you need to keep an eye on when you're upgrading. When you first come in, don't do like I did, jump straight over and start upgrading this. You want to first come over and you want to do this line very first thing. That way you can run those orders. If you were in year 1 and you have all those skull products set back, in your warehouse. So last year we didn't sell any skull products, just saved up everything we made last year because we had plenty of 8s. Let's see where those going to be located at. It should be in here in the warehouse. Yes, the gold skull rum, then you got your Black Lotus. You got your gold skull gin, you've got silver snuff, White Skull products, Blue Lotus, White Skull Gin, the black stuff, things like that. Those are things that you're going to be selling. And the jade that was in there too. You're going to be selling that stuff. And the trader that's on land, he switches locations. So today he was over here at the Necropolis. Yesterday he was up here at Pillar Tomb. So when you grab that contract, look to see where he's at and then manually mark it, because once you take off of that contract, it's not going to show on the map. There's a glitch that's not allowing him to show where he's at. So make a mental note where he's at. So you just pick up the contract, come over here, and you're going to mark that territory. That way you know where to go, or just keep a mental note of it. So hope this video helps you out, guys. Y'all have a wonderful day.